Yes, but now the
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, how's everybody doing today? I had a week off. The family decided to stay at home and do nothing. My wife was on vacation, but we really didn't do much because we're in the middle of a pandemic. But still, I thought it would be appropriate for me to take a week off and just spend time. In case you guys have forgotten, I know I almost did. I am that guy, Rolando Revilla Jr., right here from TejanoKeyboard.com. Thanking you guys for joining us here every week. I also want to introduce today's guest, Mr. John Ortiz Jr. from Karizma Band. John, how are you today?
I'm doing fine. How about yourself?
Oh, I'm doing fine. It's a beautiful day
Great.
outside. I was outside for a little bit and got to spend a little bit of time out there. For those of you who aren't living in Toledo, which the majority of you are not, it's 73 degrees with like zero humidity. Well, at least it feels like it's zero humidity. Yeah.
It feels nice though.
Yeah, it is. It's super nice. We had dinner. Bianca and we spent some time outside with Mijo, and then I came inside so I could do my show. Oh, I forgot to talk about my shirt. It's just a plain maroon shirt. But I guess if I wanted to attribute it to something, I guess burgundy is the color of my alma mater. I graduated from Central Michigan University, so fire up chips.
Chippewa.
Yep, the Chippewas. So John, for those of you who don't know John is a multi-instrumentalist. When I first met John, I saw him on drums, and then later on I saw him on keyboards. But it doesn't surprise me because he comes from a musical family. John, tell us a little bit about your whole musical family there and how you got to be and why I saw you playing drums.
Well, actually, okay, we're all born listening to music, right?
Yeah.
So I was always interested in playing drums. It all happened. Well, it happened one day. My dad, he had his own band, right?
Mm-hmm.
I guess they were supposed to play at a quinceañera or a wedding or something like that. I don't know. I can't remember. Some party. But anyways, one day my dad had a gig and a couple musicians didn't show up.
Oh.
So I don't know. I think my dad had to hurry up and grab other two musicians to go through the night, probably without practice. But, back then it was just with a 1-2, first, second, but yeah, it's not like now. But anyways, so, let's go, okay, But yeah, my mom talked to my dad one day. We were just sitting there watching. He goes, hey, but in Spanish, talk to him in Spanish. Hey, why don't you show the kids how to play? And my dad goes, oh, yeah. Oh, and actually my parents, they went to dances a lot.
Mm.
Well, my dad went to a dance in Hartford, and Los Hermanos Garces were playing. I don't know if you heard of Presión. Well, now they're called Grupo Presión from Dallas-Fort Worth area.
Yes.
I don't know if you heard that band.
Yeah.
Well,
Conjunto group, right?
They were just tiny. Well, my dad brought a poster, and he hung it up on the wall, and we just looked at it. I go, hey, Dad, who's them? Who's those? Who are they? Oh, those are good friends. Their dad's good friends. With me since the young years and stuff. Because I guess they played together in the band back then. Years ago. So, well, anyways, yeah. So they just looked interesting. I go, man, I want to play. Maybe one day you'll play something. Well, I went back maybe years, but now I'm coming to what my mom told my dad to, show him how to play. Mm-hmm. And I go, okay, sure. So my dad had an instrument, the drums was there. He had his accordion because he was always playing accordion. But my dad played every instrument too: bass, bajo, electric guitar, drums, accordion, stuff, organ too. Mm-hmm. And we're just sitting there, and well, my dad asked us, well, what do you guys want to play? Because it was me, Joe, Ernie. We're all sitting in a sofa. We just looked at each other. We didn't know. And I said, well, Joe actually was a drummer when he was 6.
Yep.
He started playing drums when he was
He
6.
just said that
And
right
he
now.
started,
Shout out going out to Joe
yeah,
who's joining us tonight.
yeah,
He
yeah,
says, "Yeah, I was playing drums at the time at 6 years old." Yeah,
yeah, 6 years old.
I have
Well,
a.
anyways,
Go ahead.
yeah. So, anyways, I guess Joe. I think I remember Joe wanted to stick with the drums. So what I did, I grabbed the guitar,
Hmm.
and Ernie grabbed the bass. But you know, Ernie, the shoulder was like this when he had the bass. So he goes, "Well, just try it. You never know." I think Ernie was just trying, like, just moving it. And then I grabbed the guitar, and I went like this. And I'm like, I don't like the feel of this. I say, I don't know. I know something tells me I'm not gonna be able to play this. It's just try it. I go, no. And then, no, I don't think so. And I grab the guitar and go, here, Joe. Here, Joe, you try it. I'll take it. We ain't started. That's how, Dad, I'm gonna stick with the drums. I like the drums, so I'll stick with the drums. From there on, a couple years went by. Then Steve got in the picture. He started playing the bongos. Congas. My younger brother Steve. So he started playing the congas and stuff. And yeah, then years went by. We also recorded we met the group. We met a Daco family in from Lansing,
Hmm.
because we actually my dad called to record at a studio in Mason.
Hmm.
And Daco's Daco's recorded there too. It's called Suave Records
Hmm.
in Mason.
Yep.
A little studio back then was an 8-track.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm starting to sound like I'm old now or something. But yeah, we recorded a 45, man. We were just, I think, 2 years into the music.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it was pretty fun though. Yeah, the drums. I guess I was using Junior Adaco's drums. I remember. And Danny was there. My dad actually picked up Danny so he could show us where the studio was at. So there we recorded, and I think we were there all till midnight. We had to go to school next day. We went to school. But anyways, we're all excited and everything. Oh, we recorded a record. It was a ranchera, and the other side was La ranchera was Trita de mi vida, and the soul song was Creí,
Hmm.
from Steve Jordan. Remember that one?
Yep.
So we did that one. I actually got the
I was just about to
Suave
ask
record.
you. Awesome.
Yeah, and one side's a little scratched up, but this lady that went to one of her dances gave it to me. She still had it.
Wow.
So my dad still had one too, but it was like cracked.
Mhm.
This one's more into like mid condition.
That's
And
awesome.
somebody must have marked it on there. It was recorded 1982.
Wow. I wasn't even born
Yeah.
yet.
Yeah, so I was in drums. So years went by and stuff, and my dad, he was playing organ at the time too. I don't know if my brother Joe can help me with this. I think Joe started playing a little bit of keyboard organ. So I wanted to play that too. So one day my dad came with a keyboard.
Mhm.
He was carrying something, and it wasn't a keyboard, it was a synthesizer actually. Like, that's what they were called back then. And he opened it up, and he started playing. I just looked at it. I just stared at it. Like, wow, I want to play that. Like, forget the drums. Like, I don't know. It's like I fell in love with it, I
Yeah.
was like, wow. My dad goes, I don't know about these sounds. And I go, Dad, these sounds sound pretty nice. You're probably just used to the organ.
Oh,
Yeah, it was a
man.
synthesizer, that wow wow, and
Yeah.
the mafia style and all that.
And the Mas and all,
Maz.
yeah.
It was what I remember, it was a Roland JX3P. A Roland JX3P. It
Yeah,
was
Mas
like
used to use that a lot.
a preset polyphonic.
Yep.
Yeah. And then a year after that, I ended up getting. I only played one, but I only played in one hand, so it was like 2, 3 fingers. Wham, 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 wham. I also played a couple of polkas, used the organ. The strings were, I don't know, I didn't really like the strings. it didn't really sound like, back then it was all right, but go by. And I go, man, I want something better. Like I want something that sounds. So then my dad got a Juno 106. I roll in.
Mm-hmm.
The strings were a little bit better than that one. So that's the two I used at first when I started. Roland GX 3P and Juno 106. Roland's. Wow. Yeah.
Those are some cool boards, man. They really are. Even today, they have some really good sounds that are even like you hear a lot of these pop people that are looking for all these vintage sounds to remake, sounds de más antes, like even Bruno Mars and stuff. They're using like the Roland 808s and all that sort of stuff to try to bring that sound back. And so yeah, those are some pretty sweet keyboards, man. You wouldn't happen to have any of those still, right?
No, actually, they broke down. You know what? I don't even remember what happened to them. I think I don't. Actually, I don't. I think they broke down. Yeah, I guess they didn't. They lasted for a while, but they broke apart, and I think they just left like that, and yeah, they were gone.
Yeah, and so then is that around the time that what the band's name was Suave, right?
No, actually, familia. Juan Ortiz y su familia.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And then, well, anyways, when I got that keyboard, that Roland JX3P, well, my parents and some other friends were going to a dance to go see La Mafia. I think that's when they came to South Bend. Mm-hmm. So they had an extra ticket. Yeah, you know how I love music. Hey, John, my dad goes, hey, you going to come with us? I said, man, what should I do? Keyboard, dance. Like, should I stay here and practice the keyboard or go to the dance? I fell in love with that keyboard. I turned on the Mafia dance. just to mess with it, practice. Yeah, that's what I did. I just locked myself, practice and practice. I actually learned by ear, just listening to music. And the first song, like I was telling you earlier, the chord I learned how to play first was D. And that song was Hello Baby Doll.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So that was the first song I actually started learning how to play.
And that was something.
And then we started playing out.
Sorry, go ahead.
1983 or 84.
Yeah.
Around there. Yeah. Carlos Moleno at the time came to Holland to perform. So we got to see him,
I think my parents might have even gone to that because I remember them talking about that. My dad used to really like, Hello Baby Doll, and I think there was this song called something about a brown cow or something like that, or
it's more like a chiquiti, like a country or
but like Chicano kind of
yeah.
I forgot about that song, but yeah, Carlos Moreno La Semilla. I remember we used to listen to that cassette, back in the day. And but yeah, Hello Baby Doll, key of D. Well, at least the original recording, right? There's people have covered it all different sorts of ways.
I think Alamo recorded in a different key.
In E, I believe.
Alamo, something like that,
Yep.
Yeah, I noticed that too. Like I said, sometimes
you can hear.
What do you call that again?
Well, yeah. So for those of you who are familiar or aren't familiar with it, I was playing for John. I was telling him like, hey, can you hear my voice and can you hear the keyboard in case I happen to play something? And he's like, let me get my headphones on. And we were talking and I played a chord and he's like, hey, was that a D? I'm like, what? And he goes, was that a D? And I didn't understand what he was talking about. Like I was looking at my shirt. I'm like, but he was talking about the chord that I played. I'm like, oh yeah, that's a D chord. He goes, it sounded like a D7, and it was. And I was like, I said, do you have perfect pitch? And he's like, what? I was like, do you have perfect pitch? He goes, I can hear you. I was like, no, like, could you hear pitches and know what they are? And he told me, well, some of them I can do that because there's some people who have either perfect pitch or relative pitch, right? I tend to think that I have, fairly good relative pitch. Perfect pitch, maybe not. I could probably be like within a few cents. Like sometimes I can hear if something's sharp or flat by itself, right? but definitely, like if I hear a chord or if I hear a song, it's always in reference to another song in my head, and then I'm like, oh yeah, that feels like the key of G, or that feels like the
It's,
key of B flat or whatever. And so like I'm able to do, and I think that's kind of like what you were doing. But you were saying that have you ever seen that movie Anchorman? Uh,
you
with
know what? You know what? I'm not really a movie
a movie guy.
watcher. What I do, I usually watch half of the movies, or probably a quarter of the movies. I either fall asleep or walk out, do something else. Don't even come back and finish the movie.
Well,
I mean, that's the way.
there was this one line from that movie where they were
Uh,
talking about some cologne that somebody puts on, and they said that it makes women or it makes me irresistible to women or something like that. He goes, "Is that true?" He goes, "I think he said 60% of the time it works every time." And so when you
yeah,
said, I said, so can you pick out the pitches like that just by hearing them?
yeah.
And he's like, yeah, I think like maybe 50% of the time. So that made me think of that. 60% of the time it works every time.
Oh yeah. And then
But
too, it's like when you hear a certain song, like a few times, like let me see what chord is. I hum it like, I think that's the. Sometimes I'll find like it just clicks.
yep.
It clicks in my head like, what's that? You know what it is? Or sometimes I'm probably a half step off or a step off. It's pretty
Yeah.
close.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly. And your brother Joe brings up that's how we all learn how to play is by ear growing up.
yeah,
And you know what? I think that's the case for everybody, you know what I mean? Like even people who compose music from scratch, right? They're not like, "Oh, well, let me just write down notes on a paper." Like that's not how music is written. Music is, you try different things and if it sounds good, it is good. I'm pretty sure the majority of us kind of started that way. But I'm sorry, I've kind of gone off on a tangent here. We were talking about whether you wanted to go to La Mafia or if you wanted to stay home and practice on the
yeah.
keyboards.
So that's when I actually learned Hello Baby Doll because I wanted to learn that song, and I started the da 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 da.
Yep.
That's actually the first thing I tried to learn. So I like the way that sounded. Da, 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 da. So I started playing that, and after that, I started learning other parts. Yeah. Then we learned other couple songs from Carlos Moreno. Then from there, started being like Mas, La Mafia. Oh yeah.
all the good bands from back in the day.
Oh yeah. And from there on, it was like, then like following years came La Sombra, you know, all these bands, and yeah. So and I learned how to read music because we all played in a band in school.
Mm-hmm.
That's how I learned how to read. I was a trumpet player. Joe was a sax player. Ernie was a trombone player. Ernie always gets those big instruments.
And for those of you who don't know the family, and Ernie's in here, so he can defend himself on here. But I think he's the smallest guy out of all the brothers.
Oh, he's taller than me now.
Oh yeah,
He's taller than me now. He used to be the shortest.
yeah,
He grew away. They're all taller than me now.
yeah.
Well,
But
brother Steve is the tallest. Yeah.
yeah, and
Yeah.
yeah. So that's fitting, right? Bass player, trombone,
Yeah.
you know. But at any rate, continue.
Joe. Yeah. Well, Steve. I don't think Steve played percussion actually
Yeah.
in the band. So he always was a percussionist drummer. So yeah, so that's how we started learning our C, D, E's, and because when I first started playing, I knew probably where C was and maybe F because we played it with my dad. We played a lot in F. That was more like common chord. My dad played a lot F. So yeah, that's how we learned from school.
It's awesome.
And yeah,
And you guys were, uh, you said it was Juan Ortiz y su grupo, or what was it called
y
again?
su familia,
Su familia.
y su familia.
Uh-huh.
Yeah,
And then when did you guys kind of transition over to like,
Suave band.
yeah,
Okay, since we recorded at 45, I think I told my dad, "Hey, Dad, only name the band Suave, because I seen the record, the Suave records."
Uh-huh.
And I don't know, I think I am the one that told him, or name it Suave, and he goes, "Oh yeah, we can name it Suave, man." But we got to find out a year later there was another Suave band. I guess it was based out of Ohio. I don't
Really?
know if anybody knows; they could correct me on this. I can't remember. Well, we used to go play a lot at Tony and Vicky's in
Oh yeah,
Toledo,
here
Ohio.
here in Toledo. Yep.
Yeah, yeah, that's how I met Donnie and Tina
Yep.
and the parents.
Yeah, from
Actually,
DeSoto band.
I think Donnie is actually the one that mentioned. Well, there was a Suave band, or I think he had a band named Suave. I'm not sure. I said, "Oh, I didn't know there was another Suave band." Anyways, yeah, it was called. And then my dad bought a bus. It was actually regular color. What is it? Orange? What color was it? I'm
Yellow,
colorblind.
like a yellow,
Yeah, yellow,
yellow school
yellow. And it
bus.
said a Great Pumpkin too when he bought it. He came in with a bus. Hey, isn't that like the bus from Charlie Brown? Great Pumpkin 2. It had the Great Pumpkin 2 on there. I go, oh, damn. I was like, are we going to drive in that bus? Yeah, don't worry about it. Someone's going to paint it. So somebody did. He painted it. Apple red.
Wow.
And you know what?
There
Right
you
here.
go. I remember seeing
Yeah, it
that.
says Suave Beer. Yeah.
There
Yeah,
you
you got. This is Brian. I mean, this is my dad.
go.
That's Joe.
Yep.
And then me, Steve.
Ernie.
And then Ernie. I don't know if you met Brian Martinez before.
Yep. Yep. I'm friends with
Yeah.
him. You know what? I met Brian when he was playing with the Lowriders back in the day.
Okay.
When he was playing keys with
Well,
them.
we actually played trumpet, me and him,
Oh yeah.
during that time. Yeah.
Awesome.
I was with the trumpet on my left hand, the keys with my right. You know, me and him will play the two parts, and then all of a sudden I'll play the chords with this. And back again,
Yeah.
and again. I don't know how I did it, but yeah, we did it like that maybe for a year. So then we went back to, we just left the brass alone and stuff. I don't know how we forgot about it. It just, then later on, Brian started playing the percussion. And he ended up doing the keyboards too, so
Mhm.
he learning how to play.
I,
Yeah.
I gotta actually bring up, and I know that this is kind of like maybe not so related, but I do have to tell people that one of the reasons why I'm even a musician today, okay, is because I would go to the dances at my local hometown, and the one band
Yeah.
that I saw that really I told my dad that's what I want to do was watching the Mighty Lowrider Band from Holland.
Oh
And
yeah.
the reason I bring that up is because Brian was playing with them at the time. Your brother Joe was playing guitar
Joe,
with them, and I heard them play.
Steve.
And maybe Steve was playing then.
Yeah,
Actually,
Steve played with him for a while. Yeah.
you know what? That
It was probably Hector.
it was Hector,
Yeah.
their uncle,
Yeah,
right?
Hector. Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I followed them throughout, and then I remember Ernie started playing with them, and then Steve, and then I saw them once with Joe playing drums, and I was like,
Yeah.
whoa,
Yeah.
yeah. But yeah, so your family indirectly really was a big influence on the fact that I even. Like my dad played accordion at home too, right? But just kind of like to
Yeah.
himself and kind of like a closet musician. But when we went to the dance, I was like, man, look at these guys. They sound like the record. I want to play like that. But anyways, I've gotten off on a tangent. I'm sorry. I tend
Hey,
to do that once in a while.
now that you're saying record too, people used to watch us play and stuff. And it used to be people going behind the speakers and thinking that there's a record playing, because we were so small. And my dad said, "No, we don't got no tape or record playing. That's us." This lady came up, "Oh, you guys should be in That's Incredible." So That's Incredible. All right.
Yeah, that
That'll be
TV
cool.
show. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
But yeah.
so then after Suave Band, like I mentioned, your brothers kind of started playing with other groups and stuff like that.
Yeah.
What was kind of the transition, or when did you guys kind of like phase out of Suave band, or what happened? Did that ever, like, when did that fizzle out, or how did that happen?
Well, it's like Joe, Joe, he got married. Well, went on his own. Then my brother Street graduated. He moved out, went on his own. And I guess it was me and Ernie, and we had another guitar player, and I can't remember his name actually. We actually transited into a tropical band for a while
Oh yeah, wow, that's interesting.
because the guitar player, I think his name was Ismail.
Hmm.
I think he played with Gamma too before. But
Oh
anyways,
yeah.
yeah, he said, "Hey, let's play Las Hijas," and he came out with all these cumbias.
Hmm.
But okay, we tried a few of these cumbias, so we practiced a few of them. I guess we played more cumbias than rancheras,
Hmm.
but we went to go play at quinceañera. So we just, okay, we'll try these cumbias. Everybody liked it. They were all dancing. So that's why we mostly played all night. They go, hey, what about the rancheras? But I guess the people like cumbias. It was like more like, it was more down south. I think there was a lot of people that liked music, tropical at that time, So,
Yeah, I
yeah,
think
so
it was kind
okay.
of like, at least
Bronco,
in the Midwest, it was kind of like a, you know, there were hot spots for Tejano and there was hot spots for other
yeah.
kind of music. Uh,
But
like at least my dad's family, when they were growing up, there was never
yeah,
like, oh, I listened to Tejano music. They listened to Mexican music. They didn't care what it was,
yeah,
whether it was mariachi, norteño, Tejano, whatever. My mom's side of the family was the one that was more like, mas la mafia, whatever. And then my dad kind of
yeah,
like liked that style more. You know what I mean? And so that's kind of like where, but like in my hometown of Shelby, which is only maybe what, like an hour and a half north of Holland, or you're in Fenville now, right?
yeah.
Yeah.
I'm back in Finville.
Okay. So yeah,
I've moved back.
it's probably about a couple hours away from there, but it wasn't really a hotbed for Tejano, at least, or maybe for a short period of
Yeah,
time it was.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I was always into Tejano music, but like I said, I guess the crowd was happy, so
Hmm.
we just playing cumbias. I remember we knew some Bronco. I think we played one from Topaz. I think,
Yeah.
groups like that back then.
Yeah.
So he knew all these songs. But he came from a background tropical. We go, well, we gotta show you how to play Tejano
Hmm.
because that's what I like. And so I started showing him the chords, and he was like, "Jink, jink." But he learned a little bit though. He
Yeah.
learned. So yeah.
And
But in the '90s,
Mhm.
and then now we're skipping to the '90s, I think.
That sounds about right.
Yeah, what happened in the '90s? We still had that band going. Oh, we kind of like left apart. Me and Ernie, and I don't remember if it was '91, '92. Me, Ernie, Steve actually formed a group with Cookie Size.
Oh yeah.
Remember Cookie Size? Well, we started practicing. Then Mike came in at a tenor sax. Mike used to be the other sax player, the original sax player for Karizma band. So my dad too, he started playing accordion. He came back. We all got together and he started playing accordion too. So we'll just keep it a Suave band. So okay. Then, but people thought since they seen Cookie, they would think it was Karizma band. So, but then they will see us, and so we're actually just Suave band. So that's what we're known, Suave band still.
Yeah.
And
And I.
then the mid '90s came in, and actually, there was a period of time I didn't play for 4 years. Four
Wow.
years. I think that was after. That was after the year 2000s, actually.
Hmm.
So, yeah. Oh, during those mid '90s, that's when I bought my Sonic TS10.
Oh yeah. That was a good board,
So
man.
we were playing back then, but I said, you know what? I want a workstation because maybe I want to do. Because I used to remember. I don't know if you know Lee Lopez.
Yep. He used to be from Lansing.
Okay.
He lives in San Antonio now,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, anyways, you had a PV workstation, and I was watching him play one time my place, and he goes, "Hey, because he seen me play keyboards, well, I just skipped the Sierra years.
Grupo
Grupo
Sierra.
Sierra, that was in the early, that was
Dude,
like in the mid '90s,
I saw that
after the
band.
mid
I
'90s.
really liked that band. They played out there at the
Yeah,
Pavilion at
well,
my hometown.
so actually, I got started playing with Lee before Sierra came in.
Gotcha.
So I got a TS10.
Hold on one second. Hold on.
eh,
I don't mean to interrupt
eh,
you, but
eh,
when you said a PV workstation, and so did you guys do like a keyboard sort of thing, like you
yeah,
and
me and
Lee?
him,
Okay, were you guys like maybe a house group at Club
my place.
Clásico? My place?
I helped him. My place. It was I usually helped him out more in my place.
Okay.
Club Clásico maybe once or twice.
Okay, well maybe one of those once or twice times we must have crossed paths because uh my band was playing there and I remember seeing the PV workstation. I was young. I mean, you're talking about mid 90s. I was probably like
Yeah,
in 4th grade or 5th grade por ahí, and I saw the keyboard. I was like, "Oh, that's cool." And I remember somebody from the club was telling me that that there was like a regular house group there that was kind of like doing some stuff, but at any rate, but yeah, I mean it was right there on Division, so it was right on the same street as my place, right?
yeah. Especially
And
you
the
got it.
original
You had all
yesteryears.
those other
Yeah.
yesteryears and
Yeah, I used to play that
Julian.
circuit not very much, but I remember I
Uh,
played at all those clubs. Even the yesteryears too, which was what, Celestinos?
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, man.
Well, Celestino's was in Godfrey or somewhere
Yeah.
around there.
Yeah.
Uh,
For those of you who
I
aren't
think it was
familiar with
yeah,
what we're talking about the city of Grand Rapids, Michigan, which
yeah.
was at that time there was a lot of Tejano music there in Grand
Oh yeah.
Rapids and Holland, Lansing, Saginaw, even
Yeah.
Muskegon, El Poso would have Tejano music.
Yeah, and also we played, and not only that, we used to play at the skating rink in Shelby a lot.
Yeah, that was my hometown, the Pavilion. Yeah,
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 I did not run into you when I was Sierra. We played there a few times, and
yeah,
I was talking to somebody in
yeah. I was
the
probably
back
like a little
parking lot.
boy. I was like,
I think there was somebody that came up, started, yeah, I like the music, and I'm wondering if that was you.
it probably was.
It could
You know
have
what?
been. It could have been. Now that I'm thinking,
My
yeah,
hometown was a population of
yeah,
maybe 4,000 people, and or maybe even 2,000 people. I don't even remember at that time, right? But it was a real slow paced town, and my parent, well, actually, cousins of my mom's family. Were the promoters that would bring the dances to the pavilion, and sometimes my family didn't even feel like going to the bailes, and there was no age limit because it wasn't like a bar; it was just like a hall where families
yeah,
would come and whatever. I would beg my parents to let me go to the dance, and I would go by myself to the dances, and I would never dance. I still to this day don't dance very good, but I would go and see the bands. So I think you're right. I think we crossed paths and probably didn't even realize it.
yeah. Because now that I'm thinking, I know there was somebody that started talking to us. They were talking, yeah, I love the music, and I'm pretty sure you're talking about my dad plays this, and I'm pretty sure it had to be you. I'm pretty sure it was. It had to be.
Yeah. Or if it was
Yeah.
a short, chubby Mexican kid, it was probably, well, not short, probably just chubby Mexican kid. It was me. I was pretty tall for
Look
my
at me.
age. Oh
Actually,
man.
actually, they call me Big Boy.
The-
Actually, Heriberto Contreras
uh-huh.
started calling me that Big Boy.
Yeah, and for those of you
So,
who are not familiar with Eliberto, he's the leader and accordionist for Estrellas de Oro, which is when I guess I met you in this capacity as a drummer playing
uh,
conjunto with those guys. But we'll get to that. So mid
yeah,
'90s,
that's like
you're playing.
that's later.
That's later.
So okay, so what year was I? Sierra Band.
Sierra Band.
Okay, okay, it was between 90. I played with Lee for about a year. You know, he ended up getting a TS12 later on.
Mm-hmm.
I had a TS10.
Mm-hmm.
He had a TS12. Ryan Martinez had a TS12. George Martinez had a TS12.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, we all traded music. The floppy disk.
That's
He
cool,
goes,
man.
"Yo, give me, put this track in for me." Okay, I will. Hey, yo, can you fix this for me? Oh yeah, we're like back and forth, just trading music. You
That's
know,
awesome, man.
at one time I had a gig by myself. I was real nervous. I guess they needed somebody to cover. I guess to cover for Lee. So I talked to Diego. He was the bartender, or he something to do with the bands, I guess. I go, man, I never played by myself before. And I go, who's gonna go with me? Who's gonna drive? And that's when Ernie came along. So what I did, I deleted all the bass tracks. The bass track. And I told my brother, hey brother, can you drive me to Grand Rapids?
Bring your bass.
So we took my dad, yeah, bring your bass, and took speakers and an amp and everything, hook up. He goes, you sure you can do this? I go, yeah, let's try it. Don't hurt. So there I was. I had my whole list of songs, which ones I'm going to play. Hey, guess who will sing? Hey, who had to sing?
Who?
And I'm not a singer, but I tried, you know.
Yeah.
Man, I was nervous, dude. I was nervous. And somebody brought me a note. Hey, you're doing okay. You're doing fine. You know, I'm like, man, like, brother, what time is it? Oh, it's only 10 o'clock. Brother, what time is it? 10:45. Like, oh man, like, I don't know, man. We gotta make it through this day. And then it was a packed house.
Wow. And people
My
were
place,
dancing, right?
my place, yeah, my place was always packed, always packed.
Dude,
You
and
know?
then it made it look even more packed because they had like this mirror sort of like bubbly sort of thing on the wall, right? And
Yeah, I remember that.
it would make it look like there was more people in there, man. It just felt so big,
Oh
even
yeah,
though it was kind of small there.
yeah.
Yeah.
But it would get packed. And you remember
Oh,
when
yeah.
all that Tejano music?
Oh, yeah,
It would
man.
get really packed.
Like when I
Yeah,
played there, my band wasn't really that well known. I think it was like the first, and we only played there maybe once or twice or whatever. But we went in there and it was packed, and like people didn't even care, like they didn't even know who we were or nothing. They just people wanted to go hear Tejano music, and they didn't care who it was. And you're right, man. Back in those days, it would get packed no matter what. And like I said,
yeah,
right there on that same street, you would have 3 clubs doing Tejano, and they would all be packed,
yep.
man.
They will
Those
all be packed.
those were the days.
Sometimes people will go one, they'll go a
Hopping.
certain time to this one. Yeah, hopping back and forth and go to another one. I would see different people,
Mm-hmm.
and then me too. I'll go and I'll say, hey, didn't I just see you in my place? Yeah, like man, back and forth, like, dude, I don't know, like chess or something, It's pretty cool
Yeah.
though. I mean, those were the great days, man. It was like, man,
Mhm.
I just get chills talking about it because, it was everybody there was all Tejano. It was all Tejano,
Mhm.
all over Grand Rapids, Anyways, yeah. So we were at me and Lee. So after Lee, I helped out Lee a couple years. Brian Martinez had his own little band going, Sierra band.
Yep.
So I guess Madi, my sister-in-law, well, she's my sister-in-law. Madi, the singer, actually told Brian, hey, why don't you get John to play keyboards with us too? So they talked to me and stuff, and you know what? I'm not even playing right now, and I like to use my keyboard, the TS10. I'm not even playing or nothing. I'm just working a little here. So I'm not working here a little there, but I always work a lot, a lot of hours at work. But anyways, yeah, and he goes, yeah, well, right away, yeah. Brian goes, yeah, let's go, let's do it. So we did. I think it was Jimmy Morin on bass, his cousin, Brian's cousin. It was Edmund Martinez, Brian's little brother, on drums. And Aaron Rodriguez was on the guitar.
Oh yeah, Ace.
Yeah,
He lives in Ohio
yeah,
now.
yeah,
Yep.
yeah. Aaron Rodriguez, at that time, he was in Holland.
Yep.
He lived in Holland for, yeah. And it was me and Brian on keyboards. So it was like that for a while. Well, Erica, Marty's sister, was, now is my wife. They were the ones that sang, There were 2 singers, and they were pretty well known. I mean, Sierra Band, and oh, look at the Sierra Girls, That's all you hear. Sierra Girls, look at the Sierra Girls. What about us, Sierra Band? All you hear, Sierra Girls.
Yep. I
Yeah,
remember seeing that group at the pavilion
yeah,
too. And I remember because like there at the pavilion they would bring whatever kind of bands, but I'd always go for the Tejano stuff. You know what I mean? I guess even some of the
yeah,
conjunto or norteño stuff, but uh, but when it was like it was a treat when there was like a good Tejano band, and like I remember hearing you guys, man. That's some tough music, man. You guys sounded great.
Oh, thanks. Yeah, I mean, yeah. So years went by. I think I played with. Oh, then about a year after that, Joe came in. I mean, Ernie came in the band. Ernie started playing bass. I think Steve and Joe came in the band, so it was mostly us brothers and Sierra band, and Brian and the keys. I'm in the keys, and let's see. That's how it was with that. Oh, Jimmy Morin went on a sax, so he started playing sax. So we had keys, sax, you know, and yeah. Then 2 years later, another year goes by. Here comes George Salazar.
Oh yeah.
So he was a vocalist. He was a vocalist half the time. So we had George and we had a Sierra groups. You know.
Yeah. You know,
Yeah.
so here's a little story too. Speaking of the pavilion in Shelby and my connection to that whole thing. So, I told you I don't like dancing. I like going to the dances, right? But my parents would sometimes surprisingly tell me, "Hey, you're gonna stand up in so and so's quinceañera," and I was like, "Nah, I don't want to do that," you know. And so, at any rate, my cousin, Elena, she was having her quinceañera, and I know that because that's my cousin on my mom's side, so I knew that when when it came time for the dance, it was gonna be something Tejano, and my uncle told me, "Hey, I got Sierra Band to do the gig." I was like, "Oh man, that's awesome!" And I was all excited. And for whatever reason, I don't know if this was towards the end of Sierra Band or whatever, but they couldn't make the gig or something, and I don't know if they just didn't tell him or whatever, but a band showed up, and they were really good too. But it was some of the guys from Sierra. Actually, it was the Bad Boys. That's who it was. I think
Okay.
Jimmy was on sax, and
We used to play. We used to play together a lot
yeah,
here in Holland. I
yeah,
mean, we had dances. It was them, us. At one time, we had my brother could make a gig. We had Isaiah.
hmm,
One time played the bass for us,
yep,
and he played the drums for us one time too.
hmm,
So Isaiah, yeah.
yeah. Shout out to Isaiah Burciaga from here. Well, he lives here in Toledo now, but originally
Oh yeah.
from Adrian, and then he lived in Holland. But great musician, great drummer, great bass player. He's just
Oh yeah.
a very good talent. The whole Burciaga family, they're all great musicians and singers
Yep.
and all that. So, man, it's a small world how all of this backstory is kind of connecting us all, man.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so when did Sierra kind of start phasing out, or what did you do after Sierra? Or around what year
Well,
was that?
um, I think the year of '99,
Mhm.
I went back. I think Cookie asked me to come back to Karizma.
Mhm.
So I wasn't playing with Sierra no more, really. You know, I kind of like stepped out of the band.
Mhm.
Yeah, so did my brothers. You know, they all went their own. That's when Joel went his way, Ernie went his way, Steve went his way.
Mhm.
So Sierra band, it was more like the originals at first, I guess. You know, it was Brian and his brothers, and Erica and Marty were. Well, anyways, yeah, Cookie said, "Well, what you? Hey, if you're not playing, come with Karizma." Okay, okay. So I'll try it out. So at that time, I think, yeah, Albert was playing keys too.
Yeah, my compadre Albert
So
Castillo.
yeah, so it was me and Albert, you know,
Mhm.
side to side. And I remember you mentioning about when you went to go see Jay Pettis.
Oh yeah,
I was playing there,
yeah,
and you know when I was up there on stage and I'd seen them pull in. They were in the bus, right?
yeah,
They came in the bus, right?
yeah.
I seen them pull in, and I knew it was them. The
Mhm.
first person I seen was Jerry De La Rosa. You know
Yeah.
my fingers froze.
I think my fingers would have froze too, man, if I would have then see
And he
Jerry
was,
right
you know what? He was looking straight at me,
there.
and I had that little amp as a monitor.
Uh-huh.
And he was just looking at me, and I watching him. Oh man, he's watching me, man. Like, dude, you know how my hands got all sweaty? My palms were all sweating and everything. I couldn't even, like, man, I was like going like this, like, dude, we're almost done.
Hey,
And,
hey,
you know, I don't know. I
turn.
just got all of a sudden. I just got like
Hey, you
I
turned to
saw him. He
Ernie.
was
What
standing
time
there
is it?
watching me. He's watching me. He's watching me. He's listening to what I'm playing. Anyways, yeah. So I just looked down. You know, try to pretend he wasn't there, but there we go. Oh man,
Uh, that
he's
was
watching.
yeah. That was the first time I ever saw the Jay Pettis band, and for awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. I want to take a quick second here. I've been kind of neglecting it.
Okay.
I want to send shout outs going out to everybody who's actually joining us today because we got a lot of people in chatting away. Obviously, some of your brothers, Joe Ortiz in the house, Chris Strunk, which by the way, I talked to Chris. He's going to be
Uh-huh.
doing a show with us later on, so be on the lookout.
That's cool.
I believe.
I know Chris.
I
I met Chris.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I met Chris back when I played Los Tejas de Oro.
Oh yeah.
Man, every time I would see Chris, he was always on a different instrument.
Yeah, man, he's super
At,
talented. We're
at Celestino's or wherever.
yeah.
Didn't I just see you play drums?
I-
Didn't I just see you play key? I was like, yeah, he's
accordion.
talented.
And you know what?
Yeah.
I heard of Chris Strunk like maybe 5 years before I even met him, but I'll save that story for when he's on.
Okay.
Let's see.
Yeah, that'll be pretty.
Let's see. Joe Ortiz says, "Where's the Maximo shirt?" Maximo was the
Maximo.
band that Joe Ortiz used to
Yeah,
play.
yeah.
Play with before.
I
Also,
remember
shout out.
that.
I just saw
That was.
Michael Ibarra. That was his group prior to the days
Oh
of
yeah.
Iván y Fuego.
What's up, Michael?
So Michael's in there. Shout out to him. David Rodriguez says, "What's up, fellas?" Fonzo Hernandez. Mr. Joe Pisania says, "Hello, you guys." Drummer for the Burciagas, the Bad Boys. He's the current drummer for the new incarnation
Okay.
of the Bad Boys. And I believe here, let's see. Anna Hughes Ortiz, which I believe is your sister-in-law, says Miss Dab, band teacher, just loved and raved about little Ernie. So I think it's when we were talking
Ernie-
about trombone.
Ernie just corrected me on something there. I see it.
Mhm.
He just corrected me. He said, "Actually, brother, Dad put me on guitar, but my fingers were too small. So Dad tried me on bass and stuck with it." Okay. See, he remembers. So, yeah.
And
Actually, I'm watching on another TV right.
yeah, it's all good. Also, Raul Fuentes, Nano Fuentes, who's joining us once again. And again, Michael, my compadre, shout out going out to him. So where did we leave off in our conversation of
You're reading the You're reading
the comments? Yes, but before that, we were
comments,
talking about. Let's see here.
Or we're talking about Jerry,
yeah,
Jerry De La Rosa. Yeah.
yeah, and you were playing with Karizma band.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a good
So
group too, man.
okay. So I think I played with them from maybe 2000 to 2002 or 2001. 2002 is when I sort of semi-retired. You know,
Mhm.
I kind of like laid off. I mean, I was actually working a lot, so I kind of left the music for a while, just working. You know. And I think go on 4 years later, 2006. I started helping Grupo Viento for a while, and I told him, "Well, you know what?
Oh yeah.
I don't got my my keyboard no more. So we got you, carnal. We got a keyboard. We got you. Are you sure? I need to practice something." He goes, "Don't worry about it. You know these songs." Yeah, well, I probably do. Yeah, sure, I did know. You know, I played along and stuff. It was just one keyboard. So I went through a night. So I said, "You know what? I did miss this music, man. I got to get back into it." So, yeah, 2002 came in, and then I was going to a lot of dances at Celestino's. You know, me and my wife would go to dances almost every weekend. Sure, I wasn't playing right that then. So, this is when Los Estrellas de Oro came in. Okay, at one time, I walked in, it was playing, there's a band called Los Estrellas de Oro. I never heard of them guys. Well, a couple guys are originally from Texas. Now, let's check them out. Dude, I saw Filiberto playing accordion. I was just like this.
Yeah, Junior's sweet, man.
He, I go, what? I'm like, man. I said, and then something popped in my head. That'll be nice to play with him. Just
Just the jam.
But anyways, yeah, he ended up playing for the Squeeze Box Man or something. I'm like, wow. Gee, I got chills and stuff. Like, man. Anyways, I go, hey, can I go? Well, they were on the break. And you don't mind if I play one? Yeah, sure. What do you want? What do you play? And I go, play drums. Well, I can play drums. I can just for fun. Sure, get on the drums. I went up there. I thought I was gonna play a ranchera or cumbia. Ended up being a bolero. A bolero. So yeah. Afterwards, I was like, man, these guys are pretty good. So I like the way they play and stuff. And yeah, of course, Leo the third and his dad were part of the members too. And then you got Nano Fernando. So playing and yeah. So at that time I was helping Viento and Junior was playing accordion. So I guess Junior must have seen me playing keys. I think one time. And I told him, yeah, I play keyboards too. And he had an idea. He goes, well, why don't you come with us and play some keys? And I go, yeah, but aren't you guys, I was saying to myself, aren't you guys a conjunto band? Right?
Yeah.
No, don't just help us in the cumbias. So he wanted to play pianos in the cumbias.
Uh-huh.
I said, oh, okay, I'll try it out. Well, I had fun, playing cumbias and stuff. And he goes, hey, any solos? I'm like, oh man, like, do a solo. And they go, all right. They go, look at me, John, your turn. He'll do his solo, and John, I'll be, okay, I'll do whatever. There's something will pop in my head. But anyways, yeah, after that, he was like, I ended up with the band.
Awesome.
So then Junior had his own studio, so he started recording and stuff. And I started going over his house and stuff, and I would watch him record his tracks. And yeah, then one time he goes, hey, man, I want to record something. So he had a Casio keyboard. Because at that time, I don't think I had a keyboard. I think I was using Viento's keyboard. Well, yeah, I had a keyboard. So he started recording songs, and I went on the drums, actually. I recorded a track on the drums. And then he had his keyboard, and he started playing. He recorded some cumbias. So I grabbed the keyboard, just sat down. I think I put it on the sofa. Something. I was kneeling. I think I was kneeling or something. So he played the tracks back, and I started playing along with it, the cumbias. And I think there was one song, I can't remember which song it was, but
No rompas conmigo.
I think it was.
No rompas, no
Yeah,
rompas
because
conmigo.
I was actually following it. I didn't even know he was recording me.
That's funny.
I didn't. I thought he was just listening to the tracks, and he goes, hey, carnal, I just recorded you. I go, what? I go, you recorded me? And I go, I didn't even know. He's like, I caught you off guard because I'm afraid I might make some mistakes. Or something if I tell you to record a track. I wasn't expected to record tracks. So after that, I started recording more cumbias. So then after a while, I stuck it to, some certain situations happen. And I think one time he told me to play drums. I guess he liked the stilo I played. I was like, 1, 2, 1, 2. So he goes, hey, why don't you play some drums too? And I go, you sure? I go, okay. So I started playing drums, and things changed, and then later on I was to be their drummer. So that's when we started cutting tracks and all that stuff. And yeah, so I started being a drummer, and years went by. I think I played with him for, let's see, 2, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 5 years. I think from 2006 to 2011.
And you know what? At that time, I was working at the radio station, Tejano FM, and we would do the events out at the Centennial Terrace. Mark Garcia would put them on out there, and I remember Estrellas de Oro came out at least a couple times to go and play out there, and I remember
Yeah.
you playing on the drums and stuff. And
Yeah, we used to play in Saginaw a lot. We played in Saginaw a lot, especially Players Club.
oh yeah,
Huh?
yeah, probably back when it was called
Yeah,
what was it, Fiesta Cantina or something. It was called like
yeah.
that
Well,
before.
I remember when I first played there, it was already called the Players Club.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it was already called Players Club. Yeah, I believe so. Yeah.
Nano Fuentes says
So
Ritmo record artist. That's right. You guys were signed with Ritmo Records, right?
yeah, I remember. I actually talked to him at one time on the phone. I guess we called each other one time on Nano.
Uh
We had a good talk. So we never got to meet each other in person. We became pretty close one time, but I guess he came to Detroit, and I was in town too in Detroit. He texted me on Facebook, "Hey, come over. We're having dude. I'm over here visiting my brother. Everybody come over." I guess, man, we're leaving back to Holland, Finville, and but it came this close. This close, me and Nano though. But
yeah,
we did talk on the phone though.
funny thing, I crossed paths a couple of times or a handful of times with Nano, and he had a band that was kind of a house band there at the Blue Diamond,
Yeah,
and I forgot how exactly it happened, but uh, long story short, I ended up playing drums for them a few times too, and I'm not a drummer.
oh yeah,
Yeah, I'm not a drummer, but I went in and made some noise, just kept a beat for them and stuff. But yeah, and so yeah, fun times there with Fantasia band. That was the name of the group back then, Grupo Fantasia. I think they were
you
also
know,
under Ritmo Records.
all these younger generation musicians that I know, like Chris. There's a few. There's a lot. I got to meet them all during my Los Tres y Olos years
Mm-hmm.
because they didn't know who I was. Like I said, I just came out of a retirement. I was off of music for 4 years. So and then they were telling me, "Well, where you been?" I go, "Dude, I wasn't playing for about 4 years." And then another 6 years went by. I actually had some health issues. 2011. Well, my dad passed away. He passed away of cancer, and so I just decided on October to do my last gig, and I think it was at Fiesta in Grand Rapids. So that was actually my last gig I did, 2011. So after that, uh, I was just working. I didn't play anymore. The keys were left in the side again. So there was another 4 years. There I go again. Just enjoy my little vacation. So guess what? I went to Aldi's. This was 2016 or 2015. I went to Aldi's, and guess who I ran to was Cookie Size. The first person that asked me to join. He asked me again, "Hey, we got this reunion going. I want you to help us out." And I guess he had Albert helping him out.
Mm-hmm.
Ernie helped him out. Some of the originals. So I go, "Let me think about it." I guess it took me about a year to think about it. So finally, I joined the band.
Uh-huh.
So from there, I stuck with them. We're 2000. Yeah. Now I'm still, now is now. So now I'm still playing with them, and recently, it's actually been rough for us because now that I'm talking about Karizma band, as you know, we lost our accordion player.
Yeah.
May he rest in peace, and it was a total shock to us. It still feels like a dream.
Yeah.
When I first got the news about it, it's like I didn't want to believe it. So I said, I was thinking, so what? So what's next? So we had our little meetings. I like to say hello to Javier, and sax player, Spikey, Augie, bass player, Lupe Ortiz, bajo player. Yeah. Who else? Who else in there?
Guitar.
I just want to say hello. I think they're all watching too.
Yeah.
So I just want to say hi.
And George.
Yeah, what's up? George, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, probably George is watching too.
Yeah.
But anyways,
And,
yeah. So we had our little meeting. So I'm pretty sure Willie wants us to keep on going. So
Yeah. Yeah, and for those of you who are not familiar with who we're talking about, Guillermo, a lot of people knew him either as Memo or Willie
mhm.
um, Martinez. Great accordion player, played with some great bands in the Midwest, including Karizma, Los Bandits. As a matter of fact, right over here on my desk, I have a cassette of Los Bandits, and I found it
Oh yeah,
at a Mexican store in Shelby. Like it was like, you
uh-huh.
know, way in the back of the whatever, and so I
Yeah,
purchased it. But yeah, great accordionist, great guy. I didn't know him that well, but every time that I had our paths crossed, he seemed like he was a very genuine person, and he
oh
was a
yeah,
very talented accordionist, a great musician, and um, yeah, it's unfortunate, but you're absolutely right. Like, death is the one thing that's inevitable. Like, that's the only one thing that's guaranteed for us in life is one day we will all pass on. But
yeah.
while we're still here, we have to, cherish each other. We have to,
Oh
I
yeah,
I've always been the type of person who, I know some people can like they sometimes let grudges or whatever get in the way, or life's too short for stuff like that. You know what I mean? It's
oh yeah,
and then once that person passes on, like Willie, not saying that anybody had any issues with Willie or anything like that, but even more so, like, because he was such a happy-go-lucky person. Like, I think that in his memory, like, of course, like you said in your band meeting, I wasn't there obviously, but I could see why Willie would want you guys to keep going. You guys have a
and
great group, and um, you know, yeah.
we do have a CD coming out too. You know, he actually wrote some of the songs in that CD. Here they were recorded tracks, of course, with his accordion, and so you know how that when you hear something like that, it's hard. Like, wow, I can't believe it. He's gone, and we're hearing him in the tracks and stuff. And well, when it comes out, we're gonna dedicate it to him. Honor him. And I guess we got a single coming out soon. Which I exactly don't know what date, but it should be coming out soon. So yeah, but yeah, he was a good writer. I mean, we'll put the lyrics together, and he would arrange them.
Mm-hmm.
You know, pronunciation, all that, because he was real good at that.
At the
So
grammar
yeah,
stuff and Spanish.
we had Mike Martinez writing songs. He's writing songs.
Also,
So
Mike, another
eh,
influential guy that with him and his brother when they were at the Mighty Lowrider Band back in the day. Yep, I remember watching them. You know
did
what?
I mention
Huh?
did I mention him in the band too?
No.
Because he's our guitar player now too. It's I think 2.5 years already.
Awesome.
So yeah, but yeah, he's a great guitarist. Yep.
Yeah. I
And
see.
yeah, he's
Spike is in here now. Spikey. So shout out to Mr. Munoz. I got to jam with him once. He was playing bass, and I think I was playing accordion or something. I don't, but it was maybe last
yeah.
year or something. Yeah, that was a fun gig. Uh, let's see here. Michael and David. David says, "Spiky, what's up, bro?" Michael says, "Amen." So I think it was along the sentiment of you know musicians being lost and stuff like that. It's
Yeah.
hard, or any loved one. You know what I mean? And that's the thing, is that when you're in a band, it's a different sort of relationship. It's kind of like a brotherly love, a camaraderie of sorts. That sometimes if people aren't associated with music, they don't understand that bond. When you're performing with somebody on stage, like, you're reading them, without even saying any words. You feel what they're
Yeah.
feeling, and you try to, make something happen together. So yeah. Oh, and Ernesto says, don't forget Steve too, John. Your
Oh,
brother.
my brother Steve. Oh, jeez.
Hey,
It's like my
hey,
mind just
but
went blank. Like,
but
did I forget anybody else? My brother Steve on drums. Sorry, Steve.
no, but you know
Oh
what?
man,
Here's to
he's
your
probably
defense.
laughing.
To your defense,
Yeah.
that's a big group, man. You guys have a lot of guys in that band, but you guys sound
You
really
know what?
good.
I had so much of that period of time. I had things in my head. You know, and it's just like my mind got fogged up there. But yeah, my brother Steve on drums. Yeah, yeah. Can't believe it. No.
Yeah.
Sorry, brother.
So,
Yeah.
so you guys have been recording this album to be coming out. What can people expect of it? Like, not necessarily like release dates, but like, is it more rancheras or cumbias, or is there a certain specific way that you want to kind of explain what your guys' sound is like, or even in more general, explain to people because like some of the people who are watching this live right now know who you are, know who Karizma are, but then there's going to be people later on YouTube or Facebook or whatever when they watch this that they might have never even heard of Karizma Band. So if you want to explain a little bit about the group or maybe what they can expect to hear once the album comes out.
Well, in this album, there's this nice slow ballad, and then you got two polkas and a huapango, and the rest are rancheras. So yeah, it's actually like 10 songs. But like I said, I'm not sure. That's to be to determine which single is gonna come out first.
Yeah,
But
COVID has really just messed everybody's deadlines up, man.
yeah,
Everybody.
they actually delayed everything. Yeah, because I think this would the single would have been out maybe months ago. Yeah, but like I said, all this happened and everything got delayed. We actually finished the we actually finished most of it before the COVID hit. So
Wow.
you know, so we actually got it done before all this pandemic started and stuff. But like I said, they did the mastering, mixing, mastering, and all that. Everything was delayed. So hopefully that single comes out soon. But yeah.
Joe Pisania says, "What's up, Mike?" and "What's up, Dave?" So there happens to be some inner chit chat, which is cool. Speaking of, and like I said, not trying to bring this back to, you know, myself or a specific topic or anything like that, but
Yeah.
just recently, uh, one of my heavenly band bros just celebrated his birthday too, Andy Pisania, who was a drummer for
Oh
the
yeah.
band that I
Okay.
was playing
Yeah. Yeah.
for, Tejano Sound Band, and he passed away of cancer at a super young age. Man, he was like 36, 30,
Yeah. Yeah.
and
He is a really good drummer.
yeah,
Real
he was
good.
super super talented. And
Yeah.
Joe's his uncle. Joe's the one that kind of got him started and showing him and stuff like
Yeah.
that. And Joe's another guy who's a excellent drummer too. Back in the
Yeah.
day, I've
Yeah.
seen him with the Aldacos, with Grupo Aldaco, and now we playing with the Bad Boys. And
I
you
think.
know,
Yeah. I think he texted me once, asking if I was available to play keys. That I remember.
oh yeah,
So yeah. Yeah. I'm pretty sure. I think it was for New Year's Eve, or was that there was a couple groups that
mm-hmm.
actually text me if I could help them out, but I was actually booked or busy or something. But yeah, I know Jose. I think it was Ilusion. They asked me. I think they had a gig in Chicago.
Mm-hmm.
They asked me if I can back them up on keys too, but I think I had a gig that day too as well. Yeah. Well, yeah. Of course, I helped out Junior Aldaco.
Mm-hmm.
Helped him out a couple of times. It was pretty fun.
Yep,
So did
actually,
Augie. So yeah,
that's how I met Spikey.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah. I think I was playing accordion. I don't remember. It was either accordion or keyboards,
Yeah.
one of the two. But yeah, that's how we crossed paths there. So talk to me about your rig here, short a little bit. I saw in the
Old school.
pictures. I know, and this is why I'm bringing it up, man. I saw an original DX7.
Yep,
Man, that piano
yep.
on there, man. That's
You know whose keyboard actually that is?
Whose?
Guillermo's.
Really?
Willie's. Guillermo's.
It's Willie's
Yeah.
keyboard, huh?
Yeah, he
Wow.
actually let me use it. He go, hey, play it. Here, go ahead. It's still there. Yeah.
That's cool,
And
man.
of course I have my Yamaha MX. So
Yeah.
yeah, just something simple. I mean, two keys and just to cover through. I'm
Yeah.
not really like I'm really old school. I really never got into the virtual, the VSTs and all that really yet. Not
Mhm.
yet. I haven't actually messed with us stuff like that. Yeah, so I know you got the VST controls that are built into. Oh, you know what? I used to have played the Corgam one too.
Oh yeah.
Corgam one.
That was my dream
The
keyboard for
Corgam
the
one.
longest time, and then I finally bought one, and then I sold it
Yeah,
like a
I think I
dummy.
played the sax. I used it for saxophone mostly,
Mm.
and maybe some pianos
Yep.
that I remember.
The brass
And
was pretty good on it too.
yeah,
Stuff like that.
for of course the other Sonic I had was the SQ1,
Hmm.
but that didn't last me long. I only had it maybe a few months, and I got rid of it. So yeah,
Those
so I
Insonics,
had the
man, had
Rollins. Yeah.
had some real good brass sounds.
Oh yeah, man. I used to like the Anna brass, I believe it was. I also had the Miami Sound Machine brass section
Oh yeah, that pop
for the
pop pop.
PS10. Yeah, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. So you know what? That keyboard was really a lot of fun. I was always stuck in my room hours, just recording tracks. It was mostly all copy. But yeah, I would record tracks. You know what? What I even did from why even put some tracks. Remember that Gary Hobbs live?
Yeah.
Isn't she lovely? That break song,
Yeah.
da da da. When they finish,
Da da
I
da da da
actually
da da.
programmed that. I played da 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 da. Man, the brass sounded bad in that. I don't
Yeah.
remember what brass I used, but yeah, I actually programmed that in my place. We're going on break. Okay, play. Ting ting ra ta 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 ta. And then they would just look at me like, "Where'd you get that from?" I actually programmed it in there. That was pretty cool though. Yeah.
That's cool,
So
man.
that was nice. That keyboard was really nice. They still go for about 700 or 800,
Yeah,
maybe
man.
less, depending.
It
Uh,
seems like the market, if there was a hit keyboard, it's still gonna be going for a lot of money. Like, so for example, like the X5, the Korg X5 or X5D or
uh,
whatever, right? It's basically a Korg M1. It's got all the same synthesis on the inside of the hood. You can literally get all the same sounds. But a used one of those you can get for almost nothing, right? But a Korg M1, an actual legit Korg M1, still goes for a lot of money these days. You know what I mean?
oh yeah, so does I think the Juno 106.
Yeah.
I don't know why they're
The
so.
DX7 goes
I
for a lot of
mean,
money these days.
yeah, I think those keyboards came. The Juno 106 came out in 84, 85. They still like over a grand, I guess, something like that. I thought I seen one for a grand. I
Yeah,
said,
man.
wow. And like you
Like,
said, vintage.
yeah, it's all
And like,
coming back full circle, man. People are looking for all those
yeah.
old sounds, man. Yeah. Nano Fuentes says he still has his X3 in Michigan. He says Nano Fuentes says I want to start using VSTs, but I got to beef up my laptop more. Yeah, that's the one thing. The thing that I like about VSTs is that, like, if you find a keyboard that you like
Oh
as
yeah.
far as the keys, the way it feels, then that can be your board until it falls apart, and then
Yeah.
your sounds never go out of date because you can just download new sounds,
Oh yeah.
and then you constantly have new uh, sounds. So, um, yeah, that's my whole thing on the VST thing.
Yeah, I like to try. I mean, I like to mess with it.
Yeah.
Well, like, man, one of these days I'll try it. Mess with that. So
Hmm. Yeah.
I probably have my own laptop.
Well, I'm just going to spill some beans right here for everybody.
Okay.
Uh, there's going to be some VST stuff coming along from TejanoKeyboard.com. I'll get more detailed and more in depth about what it's going to be and all that stuff. But because of that, I might start doing some more tutorials as to how to use MIDI controllers and laptops and stuff like that. That being said, remember that although we're doing all of these interviews here, the main purpose of this channel is to educate, right? If you guys want to see videos on how to use VSTs or how to set up a MIDI controller, let me know, because we can definitely do, tutorials on that sort of stuff. Because here's the thing, it's all about keeping Tejano music progressing, right? And the only way that we can progress is with knowledge. So if there's anything that specifically you guys want to discuss or tutorials that you want me to do, be sure to put it down in the comments below. Send me an email. Email is tejanokeyboard@gmail.com, or you can send it to my personal email, rolandorevillajr@gmail.com. Yeah, we're probably going to be doing some tutorials, and I'll just leave it at that, about VSTs and whatever. And as that time gets closer, I'll let you guys know. Okay, let's see here. Ernie Ortiz, or Ernesto Ortiz, says, I use my son's Casio keyboard. Hey, you know what? I heard Ernie doing like a little song. I believe it was that Amar a Muerte by...
oh, yeah. You know, he comes out. He goes, hey, John, check this. Yeah, Jorge Alejandro. Yeah. Wasn't that Joe Reveles on keys? Yeah.
Yeah, that's my jam. But anyways, yeah. That was pretty sweet. I saw
right chord. The chord is C, right?
F.
F.
Yeah.
Oh, see?
It was close.
I was wrong right there.
No, but like the 5 chord, you know what I mean?
Man.
Yeah.
You know what? I should be playing a game of that.
You know what? For those of you who are watching and are interested in like training your ear, there's apps that you can download where you can actually play games where you hear a pitch and then you have to multiple choice, you know, what notes you hear, what chord you hear. They're all great tools. Yeah, those are all great things, and if you guys are interested in that, I can make some recommendations. Well, John, we've been talking for quite a bit here. I appreciate your time, man. That was quick. Super fun, man. Right? I mean, we could still keep talking. I didn't know if yeah.
Oh, actually, I have to get up like 2:45 in the morning. But you know what? I'm wide awake now. It's like I'm not even tired. I can keep on going and going and going. Part 2 coming soon.
Okay, so let me ask you a couple quick, like, random fire, like, there'll be like Spitfire questions. I'll ask you like 5 questions, and you just give me the first thing that comes to mind. Okay?
Oh no.
Your favorite keyboard player?
Jorge Velez.
Okay. Favorite band?
I don't know. I don't even know. I got just so many bands that I like.
What do you listen to the most right now?
The most?
Yeah, right now, if you had to pick a song, and I say, play me something right now on your phone
or whatever. Oh, man.
One song.
The one from Jimmy Gonzalez, it starts out real slow. I don't remember the title of the song. And he has that, who's the singer? The female singer. It starts out real slow. I think it's in G minor. The song's in G minor. Play G minor once. I'll show. Just think of da 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 da.
Oh yeah. That's
in G minor, right? I don't know why, but I like that song a lot.
Let me tell you something, man. I gotta find a recording of it, but I did that song back in the day, and I was gonna.
Oh, did you?
I was gonna do something with it because it's a Duranguense song. It's a
Yeah, I
good
never
idea.
heard them do it against it, but
Yeah, the original one,
oh,
and a buddy of
yeah.
mine, actually Jesse Herrera's the one that said, "Hey, you should do this," because somebody else told him that it had the idea. I believe it was Mando Velasquez from Saginaw, the accordion player,
Okay.
and he's like, "Hey
Yeah, I
man, you
remember.
should
Yeah,
totally do this song and blah blah blah." And so I did it, and I did it, and then I never did anything with it. Y tan tan, and then Jimmy came out with it. Yeah.
yeah. I like the chords. I love the chords in that song. Yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, you could do a lot with minor chords. I mean, man, you like to use a lot of chord extensions too, right?
What was that?
Chord extensions.
Oh yeah, chord
Chord
extensions are always
extensions.
are
Extensions.
fun. You see,
Like to use a lot.
I like playing in minor keys because when you go to the five chord,
Yeah.
right, or your segunda, right, that's where you can add
Yeah.
the most like alterations to stuff. So like in the key of G minor, so your segunda's gonna be, or your five chord is gonna be a D7, right? But it could be a D7.
Right.
Let's see, raised nine,
Nine.
a
A raise
raised
nine.
nine. You could do a flat nine.
Yeah.
You could
Or
do
flat nine.
raise five flat nine. You could do flat
Oh yeah.
five flat nine. You could do flat five raise nine. See,
That's why when you do all the cluster voicings.
yeah, you could spread it out more. What did I say?
Yeah.
Flat five,
Flat 5 9.
flat five raise nine. So let's see here. How would you voice? Oh yeah, yeah. So if you went from
That's more of a dissonant chord.
yeah, let's see here. Let's see, flat five.
Actually, why does Nano say make that? We don't make ketchup in Holland. I just seen his comment. Gonna make that ketchup. I don't make ketchup in Holland. It's only mustard, relish, bottle vinegar, and pickles.
Yeah, Heinz,
No
right?
ketchup. Yeah, no ketchup.
No
That's the
ketchup.
first thing everybody thinks. Ketchup.
Yeah, and you know what? I've never been a ketchup fan.
I want to get together one day
Yeah, man, let's do it. I mean, well, once all this
because
coronavirus is over, but yeah, man.
yeah, I don't know, one day.
Yeah, or even
Yeah,
virtually
you
like
guys know.
this. We can
Yeah,
talk some keyboards and just jam together, whatever, man. Hey, that's one thing I've always liked to do is just sit down and talk music with people. I mean, that's basically all this is, man. We talk about each other's stories and talk a little music and stuff. We were talking some little theory stuff before it went on the air, and like my little
yeah,
approach to playing in every key or whatever. But my cheats, my hacks to how to play in every key, and
yeah.
it's not transposing, y'all. There's a formula to it, and maybe
You know
for another
what?
time.
You know what? Now you're saying transpose.
Mhm.
I think one time Chris Rodriguez came out with that about transposing. I don't know if you remember that.
I don't know what was it.
He said that no, like there's some players that probably transpose keys and stuff, you know. But
Yeah.
that's one thing. That's one thing I never tried.
Mhm.
If I want to get a song, I want to get in exactly the right,
Yeah, the way it was
right
recorded.
key. Yeah, because I think when you transpose, it's like I don't know.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you have to be proficient, man. You have to be able to play in all 12
yeah,
keys. I mean, that's the bottom line. You know what I mean?
yeah,
But hey, everybody does what they can. If you have to
yeah, yeah.
transpose, I guess, then that's, I mean,
Maybe
whatever. But
if so you're up there and then somebody sings a different chord and a different go an octave higher, you
yeah,
know, just right
yeah,
away or
you have to
something.
kind of like, if
Yeah,
if you have a guest singer and they don't sing in the same key and you're already used to playing the
yeah. Then
song.
you go up. Yeah,
Yep. But you know,
that would help out. Yeah.
yeah, that's the one thing about the keyboard, though. It's like the universal instrument where you can play in all the different keys. So you might as well. I mean, there's 12 notes in all of music, in all of the history of anything of music related, has been those 12 notes. Well, at least in modern Western music, whatever, right? Because I know there's like microtonal music and whatnot, but 12 keys, man, that's it. It's just a matter of arranging those a
Yeah.
certain way to, make your make your music, So
You love jazz, right?
what was that?
You love jazz. Are you a big fan of jazz?
I
You
am.
are,
I
right?
do like jazz quite
Sort
a
of.
bit. Yeah, quite a bit actually.
Yeah.
There was a period of
I'm in
time.
love with it.
There was a period of time where all I did was study Charlie Parker's Omni book, and
Uh-huh.
Charlie Parker's not a keyboard player; he's alto saxophonist, but
Yes, bro. Yeah, yeah.
he had some really cool like lines. You know what I mean? So I would try to study some of his stuff to try to incorporate into my soloing and stuff. Um, there was like a there's one song that was called, and I haven't played this stuff in a long time, but there was one that was called the Anthropology, or maybe it was Anthropology, but oops. So like I would get some of those licks like, so I would throw those in my solo and
Yeah, solos and cumbias. Yeah, I heard that.
and
And
try
by
to,
the way,
what was
and by
it?
the way, now that you say that, when you do some music, I already know it's you. So I already know your estilo. You put that flavor in. I know that. I know that, man.
I
You know.
abused.
That's why I come. That's why I come with the questions. See what you say. You know what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah.
And then you just like, what? Like,
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
I have to let people know who are watching. So I used to study this one tune called Donna Lee,
Uh-huh.
by Charlie Parker too, and it's a crazy tune. Oops, I
That's
forgot
more
it
like
now, but
it's like a bebop.
yep. It doesn't matter, but that first lick, you'll hear me use that all the time. There is some stuff where I was doing like and I'll do like well, let's see. I can't even think of something or something like that, like or something. But I'll hear it's not even in that key, or I mean, well, because Donna Lee's in A flat,
Uh-huh.
right? But I was using it as kind of like a gateway to get from F right here, making it, yeah, to B flat. But anyways, yeah. So yeah, I used to try to study a lot of Charlie Parker. There's a But anyways, that was what was the name of that song? It was some kind of like, it's a blues, because it's just a 12-bar blues. But anyways, it doesn't matter. There were some really cool licks in that too. If you guys want to like really like get into soloing, like listen to Charlie Parker, man. Charlie Parker is the dude. Like I have a feeling like people who like are keyboard players that want to solo, like they try to solo like a keyboard player, right? Which,
You know what? I just make my own. Whatever comes
Yeah,
on my head.
but that's
You know,
but
as long as
that's
it makes it.
yeah, but that's what
I mean,
that's what I'm getting at is
yeah.
that like the more stuff you study, right? The more it becomes like
Oh yeah.
like okay, like in Tejano music, right?
Yeah.
Like let me think of a lick. Like a Rick Fuentes, like a or whatever that lick is, right?
Yeah.
You're not trying to copy Rick Fuentes, but sometimes if you hear that and you practice that, right, and you'll be playing a solo.
Yeah. Anthony
You know what I mean?
Hernandez. Anthony Hernandez uses that lick. Ta-da-da, ta-da-da, ta-da, on that Joe Posada live. I don't know if you want.
Oh yeah, yeah,
What
yeah.
song was that?
Oh, it goes.
Ta-da-da,
What he's
ta-da-da,
going?
ta-da.
Yeah, he's going. This is, and then I think he was like, and then he went something like that right there.
Yeah, yeah. I noticed he uses that lick.
Yeah. But that's what I'm saying is that like if you start studying
Yeah,
enough people, I'm not cognitively thinking like, oh, I'm gonna use this Charlie Parker lick in there. It's just under
yeah,
my
yeah,
fingers already, and so when I feel like going there, it just it just sometimes comes out. You know what I mean? Like
yeah,
I
yeah.
use that in different keys. You know what I mean? Like if I'm in F, like that Charlie Parker song was in B flat, but if I'm in F, sometimes I'll go. I'm a little rusty
Oh
right now,
yeah.
but oh, that's another one. I use that a lot. But yeah, that I use that one
Right
too.
there, that one. Man. Hell yeah.
Yeah. Anyways, we could be talking all sorts of musical influences too. That
Oh,
lick right there, that
that's pretty. That's pretty. That's
so that right there, I would use it like because like my band, Motivo, we would cover
yeah.
what Bruno Mars 24 Karat, but I would do like a slow intro. I'd be like,
Uh-huh.
oops.
You know what?
What was that?
We used to play. We used to jam that one out too.
Oh yeah.
Now we had we had some layers and strings. But you know what? I don't even. I guess if I tried, I wouldn't even remember how to play it. It's been a couple of years since we played
But yeah, that was fun. All right, John. Well, I should let you
You
go so
know,
you can get. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
okay.
No, go ahead.
All that time you were playing, I wasn't even watching the TV. I was like watching play. I was watching you. Like I got the TV on right there. I could have watched the fingering. I could have
Hey,
videotaped it.
well, hey, it's gonna be on YouTube
Copy.
forever, and you'll be
Yeah,
able
yeah.
to watch it.
But
And
that's some nice stuff you do there, man.
thanks, man. I
Real nice.
appreciate that. And here's the thing, like as Tejano musicians, I always refer back to that line in the Selena movie, right, with Edward
Yeah.
James Olmos, and he says, "You have to be more Mexican than the Mexicans and more American than the
Oh yeah.
Americans," right? So if you're gonna play something, you got to make sure that you play authentic to the style of whatever
Oh
you're
yeah.
doing. You know what I mean? If you're gonna play Mexican music, you got to sound Mexican. If you're gonna play
Mexican,
American music, you got to sound American. You know what I mean? So
American.
you can't shorthand it because then people will be like, on either sides, Mexican people will be like, this guy doesn't know what he's doing, and same thing with the Americans. They'll be like, Mexican doesn't know how to play or whatever, right? You know, it's that whole discriminatory society that we live in or whatever. But that's a
Oh yeah.
conversation that we'll leave for not this channel. So, but
Yeah.
I do want to thank you, man, for your time. It's been
Oh, you're welcome.
awesome, and
Hey,
we do need to get together, man. That it's fun, just to exchange some ideas and stuff, and you know, just to play, man, just to hear each other play some music. I think it soothes the soul. Uh, you know, I I would like to do that with more people, man. I think that's one of my life goals is to be able to interact with as many musicians as I can. You know what I mean? In one capacity or another. Whether it's just through conversation, whether it's working music together, or whatever. I like connecting with other musicians. I
oh yeah.
appreciate you sharing your story with me, and like I said, in a roundabout way, you were very influential to your family was very influential to the fact that I even play, and so shout out to your pops and to your brothers, great band of musicians, great musicians. I don't know, I have nothing but great things to
Yeah.
say about these family. Be on the lookout, guys, for Karizma's single that'll be dropping out. TBA, TBD.
Yeah.
So there's next week we have Hugo Guerrero. I've been messaging him and kind of reminding him of the fact that we have an interview. So hopefully he'll be. I'm sure of it that he will be. But you never know, right?
My eyes, my eyes adore you.
I have to tell him about
Hey,
go ahead.
he's cool, man. I got to meet him one time.
Yeah.
Pretty cool.
Yeah. You know,
Crazy.
there was a Fandango song that I used to like, and your brother Joe used to sing it with the Lowriders.
Yeah.
Te dice.
¿Quién te dice? Yeah.
Or whatever.
Chord C. Chord C, right?
C.
You play that? C chord, yeah. I used to play it too.
That was my jam, man. That's when Fandango was.
Yeah,
more of
we did play that one a lot. Yeah, I played it too in the keys. Yeah.
Something like that, right?
You know what I used?
Yeah, and then.
And then we used to do that one cumbia too. Dun da dun dun dun. What's it called? Dun da dun 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 dun.
Oh yeah.
Dun, 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 dun. I used to like playing that one. I don't know why, but I did. There were a lot of good songs.
Yeah, man. Yeah. All right, guys. Well, we're gonna sign off here. Thank you very much for joining us, and we hope you guys are enjoying these interviews. Again, next week, Hugo Guerrero. Thank you, John. If you want to stand by for a second, that'd be cool.
All right.
Otherwise, everyone, we'll see you guys next week.